I never wanted Flacco as a stand next to him on the sideline mentor for Zach Wilson. Flacco's not built that way. He said as much, and you gotta respect it. You don't have to like it, but you gotta respect it. We didn't know what the statuses were going to happen. We're going to bring. We didn't know what we have in White. We didn't know what we have in Josh Johnson. We needed some form of a safety net. Flacco was there, and we can just be honest. For a sixth-round draft pick, there are a lot of worse quarterbacks out there that we could have got. We could have got somebody that didn't have a Super Bowl win and Super Bowl MVP. We could have got a guy that didn't have 40,000 passing yards. We didn't have a 61.7% completion rate. Somebody who didn't have 225 touchdowns to 144 interceptions. We could have gotten a lot worse. So if Joe Flacco may not have been the answer that you wanted, he's the answer that we needed. And I think that given the opportunity that Flacco had, you talk about the COVID protocols. He's not vaccinated. Mike White came up with a positive test, I guess. Flacco was deemed a close proximity person, so he was put on the protocols as well. If that wasn't the case, I'd be more than happy having Joe Flacco take another game, because this is exactly what Jets Nation wanted from the start. And it's kind of a short in the segment, but this is also a justification of how Joe Flacco handled that Miami defense, which is very blitz heavy. They come at you from all sorts of directions. And Zach Wilson, even just having one game under that sort of pressure, it showed him a lot of how a vet would handle a game like that. And I think it's incredibly valuable. So that's pretty much all I got. Just everybody needs to chill and relax. This is going to work itself out. The last point on that is the one argument that I've always gotten, and this is what I actually want to get the panel, I want to get your perspective on. Why is it that the only argument they have is this isn't a long-term fit? Who said it was supposed to be? I'm not saying sign Joe Flacco for the next 9 years. I don't care about that. I care about getting him on the field, getting Zach, seeing a Super Bowl winning vet do his thing for however long that is. The difference between Zach Wilson sitting behind somebody like Joe Flacco with all those stats that I just laid out, and sitting behind Mike White with 0 NFL game experience until this year, is night and day. And if you can't see that it's night and day, then you're not watching the same game.
I'm going to be real quick about this also, because I think that not only did you say it very well, but all of my additions to it would just be me randomly cursing about why it is. Why was this a thing to even begin with? Like, why was this even a thing to begin with? Look.
Well, the Jets just didn't have an answer in the offseason before Flacco made his choice. I mean, that's
no,
kind of where we're at.
But not only that, Flacco himself said, he wanted to play. He wanted to be a starter.
Sure.
And I don't think that they were ready to make that, determination at that point, because they felt like, we went to Zach's pro day. We were there. We saw, what it is that we needed to see physically from him. And they kind of wanted to ride with it. I get it. But the biggest contribution to this team that Mike White has made in the entire time that he's been here is the film that he laid out for Wilson to watch after that Cincinnati game and some of the Colts games. The biggest contribution that Josh Johnson has made since he's been here is that film that he laid out, you know what I'm saying, in the game that he played where he racked up 300 some odd yards, because again, it gives a different perspective to the one person that really needs to have it. The biggest contribution that Joe Flacco is going to make here, how indubitably he touches upon Zach Wilson, it doesn't make a difference how. I mean,
exactly.
If it's just him sitting in the locker room and processing film, properly, Zach should be like, like, what's he got going on over there? Because to Jimmy, just phenomenal point. The 40,000 Super Bowl MVP. We know who Joe Flacco is. Or excuse me, we know who he was. We know what he's been. We know how he's gotten to this point in his career, but we also know that the majority of that career was at a much higher level than actually took him to the port. So if Zach Wilson wants to have anything at all in common with that guy, he should take advantage of what it is that he has. But the reality is that Joe Flacco isn't here to be the franchise guy. Joe Flacco isn't here to win games and things. Joe Flacco isn't here he's not even here to mentor Zach. He's here to just be.
That's all he needs to be.
Period. So yeah,
and it's not like Joe Flacco's sitting in the quarterback room and they're looking at film, and it's not like Joe Flacco's telling Zach Wilson to kick rocks if Zach comes up with a question.